Hello, Joe Brady here. And what I'd like to do today is to go over a basic set of healing sounds. In Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, there are healing sounds for each of the organs of the body. There's healing sounds for all the emotions. And they're a way of kind of inducing a meditative state. In fact, they're based on a thing called the Schumann resonance. It's 8 cycles per second. Basically, in physics, the Earth vibrates at about 8 cycles per second. That's why when water runs downstream, it also vibrates, and it gives that sound of a babbling brook, or the sound of a waterfall, or the sound of ocean waves wafting up onto the beach. Or this is a singing bowl. It's designed to come in at about 8 cycles per second. There's actually many frequencies involved, but there's what's called a carrier frequency, which is at 8 cycles per second. And so when you listen to a singing bowl, that little hum in the background, that's 8 cycles per second. Again, it's the sound of bacon frying. It's the sound of ocean waves wafting up onto the beach. It's the sound of well, I know some people that had taken a 6-foot piece of railroad track up to Red Rocks here, hooked it up to some amplifiers, and if you smack it hard enough, it makes that 8 cycles per second vibration. And so the singing bowls and tingshaws, another technique is called the tingsha in Chinese meditation, and it's designed to act as kind of a tuning fork for tuning the healing sounds to that 8 cycles per second. Again, that little shimmer that you hear in the background, that's that 8 cycles per second. And the idea is to use it like a tuning fork in order to get into a meditative state. And so we'll start with a basic exercise for the breathing called drawing in the rainbow to radiate its colors. And it's the same as that fourfold breath that we've done before. And you start by breathing in, bring the palms up in front of you. And then at the top of the breath, when you feel like you can't take in any more air, relax completely and take in an extra sip. Then as you exhale, take the first 5 seconds or so to turn the palms over. And then the next 5 seconds or so to bring the hands down. And then at the bottom of the breath, you relax completely and let the last little bit of breath out again. And so we can start with a basic healing sound from the Tai Chi Chuan and martial arts. The hun and ha sounds. The hun sound is used on the breath in to help follow the breath in, and it resonates around that 8 cycles per second, so it helps to get the mind into a meditative state. And then on the exhale, the ha sound, ha. Again, the resonant frequency hovers around that 8 cycles per second, and it helps to get the brain tuned into a meditative state. When you're thinking in your head, thinking about your problems, the mind vibrates at about 30 cycles per second when you're thinking. When you relax and enter a meditative state, those brain waves slow down until they get to what's called alpha waves, so that 8 cycles per second, and then the mind and the body come together. And that's that mind-body unity that meditators speak about. If you can capture it with the vibration and the healing sound, it makes it much easier to get into a meditative state and make the breathing exercises much more interesting at that point. And so start by exhaling all the air out of your lungs and try this. Breathe in as you bring the palms up. Try to completely fill your lungs. When you get to the top of the breath, relax completely. Take that extra sip. Turn the palms over. As you breathe out, use the ha sound. Then relax completely. Let that last little bit out. Start breathing in. Bring the palms up. Use the hun sound quietly in your mind to help follow the breath in. And then the ha sound. To help follow the breath out. Again, relax completely at the bottom of the breath. Breathe in. Again, using the hun sound quietly in your mind to help follow the breath in. Relax completely, take that extra sip, turn the palms over, use the ha sound to help follow the breath out. The hun sound to help follow the breath in. The ha sound to help follow the breath out. Now, physicists have discovered, and anatomists and biologists have discovered, the body does indeed vibrate at that 8 cycles per second. That's the sound that your bones make. It's vibrating at 8 cycles per second. Your brain can't hear the 8 cycles per second. Your brain can only hear down to about 20 cycles per second, because otherwise it would be too distracting if you heard the earth vibrating all around you. But it does. If you hang out in a cornfield in Iowa in the summertime and you hear the crickets going, that's 8 cycles per second. In psychology now, there's a whole branch of psychology called psychoacoustic sounds. And it's using sounds to help induce that meditative state. You can buy these clock radios now that have different sounds to help you get to sleep. The sound of a waterfall again, the sound of a fireplace crackling. And scientists believe, because that's our natural resonant frequency, that may be why those sounds are so particularly soothing for people, is that it mimics our own natural vibrations. The healing sounds are designed to help kind of tune the body into that. What they've discovered is when any part of the body is diseased, it begins to vibrate a little differently. The classic example is with hepatitis. With hepatitis, to fight the infection, the liver is vibrating just a little bit faster. And that results in terms of symptoms in what's called a tidal fever, where they start developing a fever late in the afternoon. But if you take somebody with raging hepatitis, if you hold your hand over their liver, you can feel the heat radiating off of it. This is vibrating just that little bit too fast. And the idea in the healing sounds is to slow down the breath, slow down the vibration, and get the organ more in tune with that natural vibration. And so try that a couple more times. Spread your feet out, aim your feet straight forward, breathe. Then as you bring your palms up, and using the han and ha sounds, use the ha sound. If you have a singing bowl or tingshaws, you can use those to help kind of tune the frequency a little bit. You could also put on a little bit of that psychoacoustic music. The sounds that, and again, if you look on your Pandora app, you'll find lots of radio stations that specialize in meditative music, and they're designed around that 8 cycles per second. And so a lot of the chanting Om and that sort of thing. The Chinese stayed away from using Om particularly in their healing sounds because it has religious connotations. When you chant Om, it means one thing to a Buddhist priest. It means quite something different to a Jesuit or to an atheist. And so the Chinese use the healing sounds that the body makes naturally when you're ill and trying to get better, which in the next few sections we'll go over those. But do that one more time, breathe in as you bring your hands up. Use the Han sound to help follow the breath in. Turn the palms over, use the Ha sound to help follow the breath out. And again, that's kind of a basic healing sound that's used in martial arts. One of these days, if we have time, we'll make a video. We'll show you how to use those sounds to help you break a brick. I don't know if that's an ambition in your life, but it does make a great party trick. And so those are the basic healing sounds that you would hear people doing. If you get real close to them doing Tai Chi in the park in Beijing, you'd hear them making those basic sounds. All the way back to the emperor's bodyguards. There's reports of them, people listening through the walls over the Forbidden City, and all they could hear was the Tai Chi guys practicing using their Han and Ha sounds. And so that's a little bit of an introduction to the healing sounds. In the next few sessions, we'll do specific healing sounds for the different organs, particularly the healing sound for the lungs And so thanks very much. Catch you next time.